Hey, how you doing? I'm here today to announce that I officially have an Etsy store for all my circuits and sounds PCBs. You can find the Etsy store at the link just down here. So what is in the Etsy store? Well, let's go and take a look. So first off, I have my series of what I call the Makermates. Just small PCBs designed to fit into a breadboard or prototyping board and make designing circuits a lot easier. So first off, I have the 16-pin SOIC to DIP adapter. I'm using this with the LM13700 transconductance amplifier chip, as you can't actually get them in DIP format anymore, but you can get them in the SMD version. But since I don't have any SMD equipment, this was my best solution. Next off, I have the encoder, with a couple of caps around the back to help reduce some noise. Then I have two RGB LEDs which come in two different types, the clear version or the frosted version, and they already have some 1K current limiting resistors connected to them, so you don't have to worry about pumping too much current through them and blowing them up. And these are all made with downward facing header pins, to make it incredibly easy to just plug and play. Next up, we have the passive multiple and jack adapter, making it easy to convert between the two different sizes. We have two independent lines of jacks, which are all connected together in parallel. So all the jacks along the back here are connected together, and all the jacks along the front here are connected together. So as well as functioning as a jack adapter, it also means that you can multiply a signal and send it to different destinations. On the store, I am selling the PCB only, so if you do want to make one of these, you will need to source your own jacks. Next up, I have a little square and triangle wave LFO, designed to sit on the workbench and help in the construction of other circuits, where an oscillating signal may be required. We have a speed control for the LFO, so that we can change it from fairly slow up to a pretty fast pace. Both LFOs also have their own different size connectors attached to the outputs, so that you can use both the 3.5 and 6.35 cables. This circuit also runs on plus minus 12 volts, so you will need an appropriate power supply to be able to use it. The outputs also swing between plus and minus 5 volts. Again, on the Etsy store, I'm just selling this as a PCB, and you will need to source your own components and jacks. But all of these parts are readily available online, or at your local electronics supply store. It does also come fully supplied with all the schematics and build drawings, so that if you do want to make your own modifications, it's easy to find out where to connect them. The final circuit to show is a little 1-watt amplifier using the LM386 amplifier chip. We have a 3.5 and a 6.35mm jack input, so that you can easily select between either of the two types. We also have a volume control, where we can make the amplifier from fairly quiet to incredibly loud. For such a small chip, it really packs a punch in terms of volume. As you can see, there's also this big switch attached here, which is connected to the ground connections of the input jacks, so that you can select between either 0 volts or half supply at 6 volts. If this isn't required though, you can just leave it out and just short one of the connections down here. And like all the others, this is sold as a PCB only, so you will have to source your own components. Now you're probably wondering what the price of all these circuit boards actually are. Well, I've tried to keep it fairly low and reasonable, and charge only $5 or $10 Australian. This could go up or down depending on if you live in a different part of the world though, but for the most part, they're not that expensive. Well, that's all for today. Until next time, I'll see you later.